Tega, Sajan.
Hana. Do. Set. Net. Daset. Yaset. Ilga. Yodel. Aho. Yol. Johanna. Yodul. Moving your left foot. Hana. It's a knife hand to the neck and a high block. Kick and back fist. Do. Moving your left foot. Hana. Moving your right foot. Do. Moving your left foot. Inside block, double punch. Hana. Inside block, double punch. Do. Moving just your left foot. Bro. Chariot. Kinye.
Tega, Ojan.
Hana. Do. Set. Net. Daset. Yaset. Moving your left foot. Hana. Dual. Set. Net. Moving your left foot. Hana. So low block, inside block. Now you're going to kick, low block, inside block. Hana. Moving your left foot. Hana. Do. Moving your right foot. Hana. Do. Moving your left foot, low block, inside block. Hana. Kick, jump, back fist. Hana. Burrow. Chariot. Kinye.
Tega, Yukjan.
Hana. Do. Set. Net. Daset. Yaset. Ilgo. Moving your right foot. Hana. Do. Moving your left foot. Hana. Moving your right foot. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Daset. Moving your right foot. Hana. Do. Set. Net. Burrow. Chariot. Kinye. So the first self-defense is the same side wrist grab. Now the only thing that I should be taught as a student is circle push down. So I'm going to do my distractor, open up my hand, circle around, and push it down. Now after the circle push down, I can do any 5 follow-up techniques that I want. The kicks, the punch, the elbows, the bite, the scratch, the lick, the tickle, whatever you want to do. But the only defense I'm allowed to do, or counter I should say, circle, push down. So that's same side wrist grab. Number 2 is cross wrists. Cross, same thing I have to do, the only thing I'm allowed to do is circle push down. I can come to the inside and push down, or I can go to the outside and push down. That's the only technique, circle push down, for the first and the second one. All right, so the third self-defense is from a single shoulder grab. So when they grab, we have to make sure that the person is not rolling their hand in the sleeve. So I want to make sure they don't do this because they're going to get their fingers hurt. So a lot of times we'll have them just put it more on the shoulder. Again, grabbing here, male-female issues, so usually just on the shoulder. So the single shoulder grab, I'm going to do an inside block. So I'm going to step back, inside block. That's all we're going to teach the students. Again, there's a bunch of other techniques. One more time, step back, inside block. So I might do my distractor, distract, as I step back, I kick. Now I do my 5 follow-up techniques. Again, anything they want to do. Number 4, double shoulder grab. Now, the defense against the double shoulder grab is what we call the swim move. It's over and under. So he's going to do double shoulder grab. I go over, under the back arm, and I drop my elbow. It drops his shoulder. I take my opposite hand, I put it like I'm clapping. I'm going to step back, and the direction I step, I move my hands. And now I do my 5 follow-up techniques. So I'm going to do it from the other direction. So double shoulder grab, over, under, clap my hands, I step to my left, and then I can do my 5 counters. Number 5 is the headlock. So I'm going to try to talk about what the headlock is supposed to, the counter to the headlock, before I get in the headlock. Otherwise you may not be able to hear my muffled voice. The one thing that I have to be careful of is 2 things when I'm in a headlock. I have to make sure that his free hand is not punching me, and then I have to make sure that the arm that's around my neck is not against my throat. So I have to turn my head so I can keep breathing. So I'm in a headlock. If this hand is punching, then I have to kind of stop it. I can take my free hand and reach it around, and I can lock it, and now I can pull that hand back, and he can no longer punch. If I'm turned here, I can't. So I have to turn in to my attacker. Now from here, I can punch, I can show different techniques. With my opposite hand behind him, I'm going to grab the neck, the shoulder, that pressure point. My front hand, I'm going to hook underneath the knee. I'm going to do this motion. I'm going to pull back, and then I can drop. So it's this motion here, pulling back and pushing up on the knee and stepping back. So one more time. So from here, the shoulder, the neck, the knee. Number 6 is the bear hug. The thing that we have to avoid is students, when they're in the bear hug, they do this as though the attacker hand goes over their head. This is the wrong way. A lot of the juniors will do this. All they're going to do is get me in a headlock. So this straight up is inappropriate. Now my feet are going to be, I'm going to start with my feet together. I'm going to step out with one foot, nice and wide. It doesn't matter which foot. The foot that's still in front is going to come behind. Now right now I'm bending over. So I actually have to kind of sit back. I sit back, he leans back. Now I can turn. With the juniors, you have to make sure that they're doing it gently so they don't throw their partner on the ground. I didn't want to throw Master Moore under the cement behind us. So I let him go, let him regain his balance without taking him down to the ground. So one more time for the bear hug. So I can hold on if I want to, step out. This leg between, horse riding stance. Make sure they pause for that horse riding stance. Bend in the knees, then I actually have to sit up so I have better balance, and then I can turn and he becomes off balance. He's tripping over my back leg. So number 7 and number 8 are both counters to a punch. Now the counter must, as I counter, I must move at a 45-degree angle forward. So if we're in a fighting stance, guard stance, this is his open side, this is the back side. Ideally, I want students to practice one counter, 45-degree angle, move into the open side, and one 45-degree, or one counter, moving 45 degrees to the back side. So depending on what punch, really the defense is either going to be a parry or a salute block. So if he throws, it could be a hook punch with this front hand. This is a salute. I'm just coming back here and I'm covering. I'm just saluting. So I can salute and I can block it. Now from here, I could go under, I could go forward, but I have to move somewhere. So he does that again. I come in, I move forward. Maybe not so much at a 45, but I did come forward. This elbow to the face. Now I can do any of my techniques that I want to do. So if I do my parry, he throws that punch. I block, and for the parry to work, it's more of a straight punch. The salute is more of a hooking punch, a haymaker. So if I'm going to parry, block, come in here, block it one more time, and slide to the back side. I can parry to the front side. If he throws that punch, I can go this way, block, and step forward. Again, the whole idea behind this counter is getting the students comfortable moving in. The biggest mistake students make is this. And then they try to kick. So we want to practice moving in. 45-degree angle, either on the open side or the back side. Number 9 is the push. Now the attacker has to be close enough to actually have contact. Most of the time, think of the push as starting as the finger in their face and then they push. It's not like baseball where they're going to get a running start and push running in. They're already going to be in an altercation, maybe fingers waving in the face, and it goes for that push. The defender, I have to get my body 45-degree angle, my hands up, my elbows down. Now I'm not in a fighting stance, more of a protective guard stance. So if his finger's in my face, I can have it here. If he starts to push, all I'm going to do with that front hand, inside block and rotate my body. The whole idea is almost like the matador effect. If he over commits himself, he goes flying this way. So from the defense standpoint, hands up, 45, he goes to push, rotate. Now once you've gotten that basic movement down, the options open up dramatically. But the students must feel comfortable with this, so the push. Number 10 is the choke. There's 2 types of chokes that we're going to somewhat talk about, but we're only going to teach one style in this video. So the 2 types of chokes are either the Frankenstein, which is my arms are straight, kind of like Frankenstein. Usually I have them against their back against the wall. The other type of choke is more of the pummeling style. I'm choking, but my elbows are down. And this has a different effect because I'm trying to move them. The beautiful thing about the choke is my hands are committed, his hands are free. So teaching the students, the only one we're going to teach them is the Frankenstein defense. So, or if they're being choked by. From here, I'm just going to take both hands and strike down. Now we have to be very careful about this at the headbutt. But from here, I'm going to show strike, and then I do my 5 follow-up techniques. So one more time for the choke. He's choking, hands straight down in the bend of the elbow. I drop my body, hands come back up, and then I can strike other techniques. Choke. Self-defense number 11 and 12, both of those are defenses against the kick. Now very similar to the punch, we want the students moving forward at a 45-degree angle. It's Taekwondo techniques that they move back. That's what we're not interested in that. They know how to do that, if nothing else, just by sheer fear. They know how to go backwards. We want them to learn how to go forward. So we want them to go forward on a 45-degree angle. And ideally, it doesn't matter what stance, but this is going to be his open side and the back side. It's nice to be able to function and train on both directions. So if he's in a guard stance, I can tell him what kick. It doesn't matter. I could say front snap kick. So as he does that front leg, front snap kick, I'm going to slide 45 degrees. Now I can do whatever technique I want. If I want him to do back leg roundhouse kick, 45 degrees angle, now I'm in his front side. Again, I go back to whatever technique I want. If I want him to do a back kick, 45-degree angle, we want to move forward. Make sure the students are moving forward for the kick self-defense, the counter to it. Self-defense number 13 and 14, both of them deal with the ground. Now there are 4 counter techniques that we're going to teach for the ground, even though a student only needs to do 2. So we want to practice all 4. They get to pick which 2 they want to use. Now 2 of them are on the ground. Both of us are on the ground, so we'll start there, and it's either the guard or the mount. So I'm not going to show you the position, and then the technique is completely up to you as an instructor. So the guard is between the legs. So I want my feet, I might hook them, I might bring my knees in, but there's a bunch of different techniques from here from the guard. Now the next technique, again, I'm not going to go into the details, the next one is the mount. So the mount is this position. All right, good. You can imagine that the ground defense is super imperative that you talk to the student and make sure they feel comfortable with each other, and particularly male-female concerns. Now the final 2 techniques for the ground is he's standing and I'm on the ground. Now I like these 2 the most, particularly with the juniors, because for whatever reason I fell and he's still standing up, and it's almost a game. They're trying to tag the person on the ground like on their chest. So after I've regained my composure from going to the ground, I have to get to one hip and the same elbow. Now I can be the elbow or it can be on the hand. I like the hand because it gives me more speed on my movement. This front foot is going to be up. I'm just going to try to keep him at bay. If I go too high, he's just going to walk over it. If I go too low, he'll step on it. So I want almost like knee high, just kind of keep it. Now he's going to try to circle around and tag me on my chest. So as he steps around, I'm just going to rotate. So it's a game that I can do as he rotates around. Now the next defense, we're going to pretend he got past my leg. And we call this stomp. So I'm going to let him in. I'm going to let him come in, and he's going to come to my open side right about here. He's going to take one foot, it doesn't really matter, usually the front foot, and as though he's going to try to stomp. As he kicks, my upper hand, I'm going to block. My ground hand, I'm going to grab his ankle. I'm going to roll into the back of his leg, pushing him to the ground. Now from here, I just roll on top of him. It's what we call the steamroller. But that's the defense against the stomp. Self-defense number 15 and 16. Both of them deal with the knife. Now, there are 2 categories of knife attacks. Static and dynamic. So dynamic is where the knife is moving in a particular direction. Static is where it's basically still. Now the dynamic defense is used for the non-black belts because we want them to get used to the knife moving around. So there's only 3 dynamic attacks that the non-black belts are going to train in. So the first one is the forearm, where I'm kind of going angle 1 coming down, or it could be down low, but it's the forearm coming in. The other one is backhand, coming back. So I miss and I come back. And the third is thrust. So the attacker, if he does the forearm or the backhand, the initial defense is the unbendable arms. So if I'm in this position, he does the forearm, unbendable arms. I block, I have to control the knife, strike, and then go the rest of the details. If he does forearm, misses, then he does a backhand. So same thing. Unbendable arms to prevent the knife from hitting me, and then I have to control the knife. And then the third defense is more the thrust. So I have to get my body out of the way. So as he thrusts, I get the target out of the way, I capture the arm, and then I go up with the technique until he drops the knife. So that is the dynamic attack. Knife defense for the black belts. There are 4 static. Now, what we're doing is we're covering a total of 7 defenses. So the black belts could pick any of the 7. If you're a non-black belt, you only have 3 to choose from. You have to know 2 of those 3, or you show those 2. For the static, there's going to be 2 from the front, and then 2 from the rear. So the first one is the knife is more kind of towards the belly. So, or kind of almost just kind of like, yeah. So my hands are going to go up. This is the target. I have to, if I'm going to move my hands, I have to move the target at the same time. My hands should always come up. They don't come out here because there's too much time for him to see my hands this way. So my hands come up, and then from here I can do lots of different techniques. I can step in. I really don't want to go straight back because no matter what, he can lean forward and still stab me. So I have to get the body out of the way and the knife out of the way. So that is from the stomach, the throat. Again, my hands come in close because I can do this. Just like with the gun, I want him to talk because as soon as he starts to talk, he forgets about the knife. So I might ask him, what do you want?
Your money.
As soon as he says that first syllable, that's my clue to go. So that's the 2 from the front. 2 from the back, very similar. He has it in my lower back. The technique for the knife for the lower back is the exact same technique for the gun. I'm going to spin around. One arm drops low. The other one comes over the top. And I grab, scissors almost. And then I control. So the final one is the knife against the throat from behind. My hands are going to come up. Now remember, if he wants my wallet, I give it to him. But if he wants me to go somewhere, now that's where I have to fight. So my hands are going to come up. I'm going to grab here and pull the hands down. My body has to stay up because I need that separation. If I drop my neck goes with the knife. So from here, I can look at it, drop it. And from here, I have to control, strike, do whatever else I need to do. So those are the 4 different static defenses for black belts only. Self-defense number 17 and 18 both include the gun. There are 2 categories of gun attacks. The first one is from the front, and the other one is from the back. So position-wise, either front and back. Now the front, I can either go kind of low or high. From the back, for the most part, the same thing, low or high. If I'm from the side, all he has to do is gradually turn, and we're back to the same position. So don't let the side confuse you on a technique. It's all the same. Make sure that the person with the gun does not put their finger in the trigger area. That will break their finger. You have to train it with it outside of that. So I'm going to give it to him. We'll start from the head. Again, my hands come up. They don't come out wide. I need them in close. I'm waiting for him to say a word, any word.
Give me your money.
As soon as he says a word, I drop my body. The lower, the better. I didn't drop it very, very low in the video, but the lower, the better. I want to control the gun. I want it to go up. And then from here, I could do any technique that I want. More from the stomach. Again, my hands come up. This technique is the same technique whether he's from the front or the back. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to do almost a scissors. I'm going to step. Now, if I have a family member here, guess what? I have to step that way. If I have a family member on this side, I want to shoot that way with no one standing. So my hand comes up. I 45 degrees angle. I block in and up. So hands up, block, and at the same time as I block, this hand's going to circle around and grab. Control the gun, and then do my technique. So the 2 from behind. So from here, obviously I'm just going to give him what he wants. As I spin around, I'm going down low. And I'm just going to do almost an X block. I'm just trying to find, because I don't know where that hand is, and if it goes here and it slides down, I just trap it. I'm just getting down below it, and I'm trying to block the gun with my hands. I'm doing sensitivity. Wherever it's touching my arm, that's where the gun is. If it's low, I'm just spinning around. One hand goes low, the other hand comes over the top. It's this block that we do in our form. As I step around, I collapse, I hook it. So as he starts to struggle, I've got both arms on it and I can start doing my technique. So there's 4 different techniques for the gun. Train all 4 of them. Let the student pick when the time comes.
Let's get started with our kicks for today, guys. What I really want you to focus on is kicking with the ball of your foot. Right here, the ball of your foot, right under your toes. So that means you have to bring your chamber up and stick your toes back towards you when you kick. Yes, we are doing a front snap kick to start off with today, so everyone trip. Tapping your right leg. Move your right leg back in the guard. Let's go. Yeah! All right, so what we're going to do is back leg kicks, front snap kick, land in front, just like that. Now your other leg, your left leg kicks, land in front, keeping your hands up, and you're going to retreat twice. So 1, 2, and then you're going to start it all over again, just like this. Back leg, landing in front, retreat, retreat. So we're going to do this for a total of 1 minute. Ready, guys? Let's work it out. Ready? And see Jack, go! Next kick for today, guys, is we're going to do a side kick. Once again, we are focusing on our chambers for today. So, right leg back, guard stance, back leg, you're going to bring it all the way up, pivot and chamber, knee to your chest, and then stick it out, kicking with your heel, bring it all the way back, and then let it down. And then you're going to slide back, and we're going to try it with the other side. So, your back leg, chamber up, pivot, extend, re-chamber, then set it down. Then you can retreat again. Are you ready? Hands up. All right, guys, let's go. 1 minute. You got this. Ready? See, jet. Keep your hands up. Good job. Bring that chamber up and all the way back. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Make sure you're breathing. Almost there, guys. 10 more seconds. Keep going. Let's go. Let's go. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Keep your hands up. Come on, come on. You got this. Almost done. Last one, last one. And row. Relax. Good job. Cheer up. All right, guys. We're not stopping there, okay? So back leg roundhouse. So back leg roundhouse. Land. Same leg. So when you land in front, same leg. Pick it up, front snap kick. Then you need to retreat again, okay? Then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So left leg, round, land, front leg, same leg, front snap kick. Good. Make sure you really point your toes. You should be able to tell the difference between your roundhouse, hitting with your shoelaces, and your front snap kick, your ball. All right, guys, ready to get started? Hands up, guard stance, go. Yeah! Starting with your right leg, back leg. Ready? See, Jack, go! Point those toes, guys. Point those toes. Halfway there. Don't give up. Keep going. Make sure you're breathing. Keep those hands up. All right, guys, 10 more seconds. Keep going, guys, keep going. Almost there. Keep your hands up. Let's go, let's go. Work it out. And boom, row. Good job, guys. Ready? Hurry up. Thanks, guys, for participating in this online training video with Miss Flynn. I had lots of fun. There's one thing that I need you to do is in the comment box below, I need you to leave your first and last name if you'd like to get class credit for today's online training. Once again, I do appreciate you guys joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.